The car hummed softly beneath me, the leather seats cool against my skin. Ryan's breath was warm, uneven, his hands steady as they rested on my hips, pulling me closer. The windows misted over, blurring the world outside, but we weren't entirely hidden. Someone might notice. Maybe someone already had. And that thought only sparked a deeper thrill in me. Hey there. Before we jump in, please take a quick moment to hit that like button and subscribe. Your support helps this channel grow and keeps you in the loop for what's next. If you're already part of the crew, thanks for being here. Now, let's dive into the story. The door slammed behind me, the night air sharp against my heated skin. My breath came in quick, shallow bursts, my hands shaking as I hugged myself tightly. I'd told him no, clearly, firmly, but he hadn't listened. Just once, it'll be fun, he'd said, his grip tightening, his breath too close, pressing where I didn't want him. My stomach churned at the memory, at the irritation in his voice when I pushed him away, as if I'd ruined his night. I swiped at my face, steadying myself, then pulled my phone from my jacket. I wasn't staying in that house tonight. Ride requested. Driver arriving in 2 minutes. Good. I needed space, air, a chance to clear my head before I did something I couldn't undo. Headlights pierced the darkness, a sleek silver sedan pulling up to the curb. My pulse still raced as I opened the door and slid inside. The door clicked shut. The car paused, then glided forward. I let out a sharp breath. Anywhere but here, I said, voice low. The car moved smoothly, streetlights flickering across the tinted windows. I leaned back, arms crossed, anger still simmering in my chest. Rough night? The voice was deep, calm, with a hint of warmth. I barely looked up. You could say that. But then my eyes flicked to the rearview mirror and my breath caught. Ryan. It had been years, but I recognized him instantly. His features sharper now, more defined. Back in high school, he'd had a quiet thing for me, always watching, never bold enough to act. I'd known, but I was chasing someone else back then. And now, here he was, driving me away from the wreckage of my evening. You remember me? His eyes met mine in the mirror, a spark of recognition there. I leaned back, arms still folded, a faint smirk tugging at my lips. Oh, I remember. His hands tightened on the wheel, just slightly. Yeah, you never gave me a second glance back then. I raised an eyebrow, teasing. You never made a move. He chuckled, a low, knowing sound. Wouldn't have mattered. You were all about someone else. I didn't respond, letting the silence settle, heavy and charged. For the first time that night, my anger wasn't just about my husband. It was about me, the paths I'd chosen, the chances I'd ignored, the things I'd never let myself explore. My gaze drifted back to Ryan, noting the way his voice had deepened, the way his fingers flexed on the wheel, the way he wasn't sneaking glances. He was studying me. I shifted in my seat, the cool leather brushing my skin. I need some air, I murmured. Pull over. His brow lifted. You sure? I nodded. The turn signal clicked, and we eased into a quiet, dimly lit parking lot. I glanced around. An empty street stretched ahead, but in the distance, a lone car idled under a flickering streetlight. Not alone, not entirely. I hesitated for a moment, feeling the weight of the risk, then leaned forward, elbows resting on the center console, close enough to catch the subtle scent of his aftershave. I never said I wasn't interested, I murmured, my voice soft, deliberate. Just that you never tried. His jaw tightened, his fingers curling around the wheel, and in that instant the air between us shifted, electric and undeniable. For a moment, Ryan didn't speak, his hands gripping the wheel, knuckles flexing. Then he smirked. So what? You're saying I should have pushed harder? I traced a slow pattern on the leather seat, my voice teasing. Maybe. He let out a low laugh, shaking his head. That's something. You acted like I was invisible back then. I tilted my head, watching him closely. Not true. Doubt flickered in his eyes. I bit my lip, my frustration morphing into something sharper, more intentional. If my husband thought he could cross lines, why couldn't I? I stretched slowly, shifting just enough to catch his attention. So, I mused, my tone playful, if you'd made a move back then, what would you have done? His grip on the wheel tightened. You want to hear my high school daydreams? I grinned. Why not? I could use a distraction. He exhaled, his chest rising, his voice dropping lower. I'd have taken you somewhere quiet, just the two of us, away from everyone. I raised an eyebrow. That's it? Pretty tame. His gaze met mine, darker now. That's just the start. A warmth stirred in me, not just from his words, but from the way he said them, the way he meant them. I leaned back, crossing my legs slowly, noticing how his eyes flicked down for a split second before returning to mine. So, what's stopping you now? I asked, my voice smooth, steady. A jaw clenched. You tell me. The air thickened, the road ahead dark and empty. I leaned closer, my breath warm against his ear. Pull over, I whispered. His hands tightened on the wheel. Say please. My lips curved. Please. The blinker clicked. The car slowed, pulling into a secluded corner of the lot. The street was quiet, but not entirely deserted. In the distance, the faint hum of another car lingered. Someone parked, maybe waiting, maybe watching. I didn't overthink it. I moved, climbing over the console to settle in his lap, the warmth of his body radiating through his clothes as my knees pressed into the seat. The windows were dark but not opaque, a streetlight casting faint light across the dashboard. Ryan froze for a moment, his breath catching, his hands hovering at my hips, waiting for a signal. I leaned in, my lips brushing his ear. You wanted this back then, didn't you? His fingers twitched, settling on my waist. Yeah, he murmured, his voice rough. Still do? That was all I needed. I kissed him slowly, teasing at first, testing the waters. His lips were warm, eager, parting against mine as his hesitation melted away. His hands tightened on my hips, pulling me closer, the connection sparking a rush through me. Outside, the night stayed quiet but not empty, every touch of Ryan's hands sending a thrill through me. Not just because of him, but because of the risk, the edge of being seen. The car felt smaller, the air heavy with warmth and unspoken longing. Every shift sent sparks through me, the tension building fast. Ryan's breath hitched, his grip tightening. Back seat, he murmured. I smirked. Too tight up here. A flicker of movement outside caught my eye. A shadow under the streetlight, gone as quickly as it appeared. I didn't care. I slid off his lap, slipping into the back, settling against the leather as I beckoned him with a finger. Come on then. He followed without pause, settling beside me, his hands finding my waist, his warmth enveloping me. I tugged at his jacket, feeling the strength beneath, the tension coiled from holding back. His lips brushed my neck, my pulse racing under his touch. The car shifted slightly, a reminder we weren't invisible. Ryan grinned against my skin, his voice low. Like that, huh? I didn't answer, didn't need to. The windows fogged, the air thick with warmth, filled with soft gasps and quiet murmurs. It was reckless, thrilling, and I'd never felt more alive. Ryan's hands rested firmly on my waist, pulling me closer, his warmth a stark contrast to the cool leather beneath me. His presence was steady, enveloping, making my breath catch. There was no holding back now. His lips met mine again, deeper, more urgent. I felt the spark ignite, his touch exploring, connecting. My fingers weaving into his hair, drawing him closer, savoring the intensity that had been simmering since I stepped into his car. The world outside faded, or maybe it didn't, and that only heightened the moment. The confined space pulled us together, our connection a steady, urgent rhythm. His warmth against the chilled leather sent a shiver through me. His hands slid to my hips, guiding me, his touch confident, yet tender. I sighed, my head tilting back as his lips found the curve of my shoulder, each kiss sending a wave of warmth through me. A faint sound outside, a car passing maybe, made Ryan pause for a split second, his breath heavy against my skin. I smiled, teasing. "Don't stop." He let out a low chuckle, his grip tightening, more certain now. "Been wanting this forever," he murmured, his voice thick with longing. A thrill shot through me, my fingers tracing his shoulders, urging him closer. "Then don't hold back," I whispered. His touch grew bolder, our connection deepening, fitting together like we'd always known how. The car shifted slightly as we moved, the warmth between us building, dizzying, unstoppable. A distant light from the road reminded me how close we were to the edge, my pulse spiking. Ryan sensed it too, his voice rough. "This risk, it's getting to you, isn't it?" I let out a soft sound, the thought of someone passing by, of being just a little too close, sending another rush through me, making my heart race, making me crave more. Ryan's breath grew ragged, his forehead resting against mine, his touch urgent, overwhelming. "You're incredible," he murmured, his words pushing me higher. The warmth hit hard, sudden, washing over me in waves, my breath catching, fingers tightening against his shoulders as the moment took over. Ryan followed moments later, his grip steadying, his breath breaking into uneven sighs. For a long moment, we stayed there, tangled together, pulses racing, the air heavy with satisfaction. A distant sound, a car door closing, reminded me the world was still out there. I exhaled, my fingers still resting against his neck, feeling his heartbeat slow. The windows were fogged, the car warm with the afterglow of what we'd shared. Ryan let out a soft laugh, running a hand through his hair, his gaze meeting mine, warm but heavy with something unspoken. "Didn't see that coming when you got in," he said, a grin tugging at his lips. I stretched lazily against the seat, still feeling the lingering warmth of our connection, a slow smile spreading across my face. "Nope," I admitted, catching my breath. "But I'm not complaining." He shook his head, his fingers still resting lightly on my waist. Outside, the night was still, but inside, the air still buzzed with what we'd done. The warmth clung to me, a reminder I'd crossed a line I had no intention of stepping back from. Ryan's fingers tapped the wheel as he slid back to the driver's seat, his gaze flicking to me, unreadable but charged. "So, heading home?" His voice was steady, but the spark between us lingered, undeniable. I glanced out the window at the dark street stretching ahead. Home. Back to my husband. Back to pretending I wasn't furious. Pretending I hadn't just let another man connect with me in a way my husband never could. No, I wasn't going back. I turned to Ryan, my lips curving. "Take me to your place." Love this story? Give it a like, share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more exciting content. This version is more direct, uses stronger verbs, and creates a sense of enthusiasm to encourage interaction.